Good morning from Charlotte, James Brierton. Thanks for following us on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and the like. We have an update for you here on this Wednesday, January the 17th, 2018, on a snowstorm that is impacting the Carolinas. In the last few minutes, we just started to see some of those flakes start falling here in the South Charlotte area for the good part of the morning. It was rain, but it has now turned over to snow, which means that water that's on the ground will begin to freeze, and we can start to count that accumulation, which is adding up fairly quickly as we take a look at the South Carolina DOT camera, south side of Charlotte, right there at the state line. We're still seeing folks who are out for their morning commute who decided to head into the office this morning. We'll find out shortly whether or not that was a mistake, because we're going to be seeing about 3 to 4 inches of snow in the Charlotte area. A lot of folks waking up this morning to the sight of rain in South Charlotte, and now it's turning over to snow. We'll go to the foothills in just a moment for our friend Scotty Powell, who will be telling us what they already have there in western North Carolina. But here's a look at the latest HRR model run. You can see right here off the top, we have that green blob that was still holding strong over Charlotte and other portions of mid-South Carolina, making its way there towards Fayetteville and Fort Bragg. And that's going to continue to kind of be out in front where we have some warmer air with this system that's making its way on through. So don't be surprised if you are on the leading edge of this. You still see some rain before you see snow, but it's very quickly going to turn over to some heavier bands of snow back behind that. You can see here as we progress through the next few hours, we'll begin to see snow picking up in places like Greensboro and Raleigh. One of the areas we're going to see probably less snow than we talked about last night here in the Carolina Weather Group is in upstate South Carolina, where they're just not getting as much of that moist, cold air. So still seeing some snow there, but maybe not as much as they were expecting. By the time all things are said and done, and we'll take a look at some of the National Weather Service Forecast Office accumulations here in a moment, you can see that we're going to be in for about 3 to 4 inches of snow, give or take, maybe here in the Charlotte area up to Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and the like. And then the bullseye for this storm we're still thinking is going to be in that general Raleigh area, where they could see pockets of maybe 4 to 5 inches of snow, but you can see things really taper off as this storm makes its way towards the coast. In just a few minutes, we'll go office by office from the National Weather Service and take a look at what those local experts are predicting for your neck of the woods. But first, let's go up and say good morning to our friend Scotty Powell in Morganton, North Carolina, in the foothills. He has been up early. He's out and about. He's back home now, warming up. Scotty, what have you seen so far this morning?
Yeah, thank you, James. It's been a busy morning here in the foothills. I woke up around 4:45 a.m. and saw snow on the ground. So I was like, hey, my forecast verified it snowed. And so, but after that, we're just watching the snow continue to fall. As you can see here beside me, Marion, North Carolina, seeing some heavy snow falling there. Anywhere between 1 to 3 inches here in the foothills. McDowell County, where Marion's at, it's 1 to 1.5 inches. Here in Morganton, Lenoir, Hickory area, we're seeing anywhere between 2 to 3 inches. I have 3 inches here at my house. So it is a snowy morning, and it also made for some treacherous travel conditions, and those are continuing as I speak. Let me pull up this picture that I snapped just a little bit ago, and this is going to show you that some of the area roadways are just are dangerous. See, can you see that now, James?
We got you.
Okay, so yeah, so here's the photo. These are two cars that slid off the road. This was actually not far from my house. I was coming back in, and this was just some accidents that's going on out there. Earlier this morning, where this picture was taken, on the other side of the road, there was a jackknife tractor trailer, and I've got some video of that, and we'll show you that tonight on the Carolina Weather Group Snow Special. So it's been a very dangerous morning here in the foothills, and continues to be dangerous as the snow falls, and we're looking at least another 2 to 3 hours of snowfall before it starts to wrap up and move off to the central and eastern part of the state. So that's the report here. James May, he's attending to something else, but also we can dial up radar right quick. And
sure thing, and I must have had myself on mute, but I'll dial up the radar for you. And I think Scotty was about to tell you kind of where this leading line of this storm is at this hour.
Yes, so James has got the radar up. We're seeing that heavier snow falling back here in the foothills, McDowell, Burke. You can see some of the darker greens, but getting reports now of snow in the Raleigh area, Greensboro area. I think they've already got, as of 30 minutes ago, anywhere between 1 to 3 inches of snow already up there. And they've still got another several hours of snowfall left. So down in the Charlotte area, I know around Charlotte, down uptown Charlotte, Huntersville near Lake Norman, Gaston County, they've seen a lot of snow already this morning. But Charlotte south towards Union County, Monroe, they are just now starting to see that rain change over to snow. And we have that travel cam up right now. This is on I-77 at the mile marker 91 in Charlotte. And as you can see, snowing pretty heavily now with the ground starting to turn white. And James, before we went on the air, you said it was starting to snow at your house as well in the South Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm not too far from where this camera is located at the state line with South Carolina, and so we just saw the changeover from rain to snow within the past hour or so. We have some other cameras we're going to show you here, and then we're going to take the neighborhood forecast for you, and we'll go via resortscams.com to Bryson City here, where the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad is. We were showing this to you last night on our special. They were one of the first spots we saw where we were beginning to see some flurries. I don't see any flurries or snow at this hour, but you can already see the crews up there have done a pretty nice job there cleaning off that blacktop. Take a look at some of those untreated sidewalks. You can see they have a nice coating there, but that car making it down the street there. That surface, though, looking a little shiny, so don't be surprised if you do run into some black ice in places, because we did have that changeover from rain to snow. So as temperatures have now crossed down below freezing, we're going to expect any of that remaining precipitation that's on the ground to begin to freeze. Another resortcams.com angle for us here in Boone, where you can see the snow is coming down at quite a healthy rate. We still have some traffic out. Scotty, we're seeing quite a few number of cars out this morning, which makes me a little nervous because we do have a lot of folks who I think may have gone out this morning saying, oh, it's not snowing. Oh, it's just raining. And now we're going to begin to see that freeze over. One last look for you here from Blowing Rock, resortcams.com. As that loads on up to get us a fresh angle, you can see the wind blowing there as well too, as we were taking a brief look at that American flag as the camera pans on over to give us another shot. So I'm going to pull up Scotty's radar real fast, and then I'm going to go on to our National Weather Service office tour here of the North Carolina and South Carolina region. But as Scotty has this on the precipitation type, you can still see that we have that leading edge of rain, that is the green, and you're seeing that across that southern area of North Carolina, just kind of sneaking now into the Raleigh area. You'll probably see a brief area of rain before that snow really settles in, where temperatures right there flirting. Was that 33, Scotty?
Yeah, 33 degrees in Raleigh.
Yeah, so we're flirting with that freezing mark. Still probably raining down in Columbia, but, in Winston-Salem and Greensboro, it's snowing, and parts of Greenville, South Carolina, and Spartanburg snowing as well, too. But, don't be surprised. Again, you're likely going to see rain before you see snow, and then we're going to see the snow settle back in behind us. We have winter storm warnings in effect for a lot of the state. Let's go ahead and pop up these advisories, bulletins, and the like from the National Weather Service. You can, of course, also see them scrolling on the side of your screen. As we center this up in the Carolinas for you, everybody in pink, that is a winter storm warning that is in effect for most of us through this afternoon. In the Charlotte area, it goes until 2. In the Piedmont, it goes until about 4 o'clock, and through 9 o'clock, through your evening commute, Raleigh, you're going to be looking at this winter storm. All of these other purple areas are winter weather advisories. So let's go office by office now, let the local experts tell you what they're anticipating in their neck of the woods. The forecast this morning from Greenville, Spartanburg, looked like it updated, Scotty, and then it almost looks like it resorted back to an older image. Let me see if I can give this a good old internet kick, because I suspect, no, that's probably about right. Okay, so we're probably going to see about 3 to 4 inches in Mecklenburg County, as you know, and if you've been here for more than one snowstorm, sometimes what you see on the north side of town versus the south side of town and vice versa can vary a little bit, so we'll safely settle that in at about 3 to 4 inches, higher amounts here as you begin to make your way into the Piedmont and into portions of central North Carolina. You can see we've kind of held or brought down the snow amounts in portions of upstate South Carolina because they are getting a little bit of that warmer, drier air. But Scotty's already telling us that they have a few inches there in the foothills, and you can see that's kind of going to begin to wind down for them probably in the next little bit or so. We'll make our way a little bit further north on this perspective, bring ourselves up to the Virginia line there. This is the Blacksburg, Virginia office of the National Weather Weather Service, which covers kind of the northern fringe of North Carolina here in the western part of the state. And you can see really that same area coming into focus as we make our way over towards Raleigh. We're going to have this heavier band that kind of settles in from Greensboro towards Raleigh and areas in between the Triad and the Triangle, where we could see 4, 5, maybe 6 inches of snow in some local heavier pockets. So be very careful, and it's probably a great day to work from home if you can do that in many portions of the state. As you make your way out towards the Outer Banks, you can see we're probably looking at about 1, 2, maybe 3 inches of snow in some places if we get the right combination of that moist, colder air. A brief look here, if you're up by Elizabeth City, up by the kind of the Virginia border closer to the coastal side, you can see that we still have that fringe of that band, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow there, maybe as you make your way along the Virginia line further inland and the I-95 corridor or so, and then a little less as you make your way out towards the coast. Unlike the last snowstorm we saw here in the Carolinas, it seems like the Charleston area, the Wilmington area, and areas along that coastline are going to get less impact from the storm. You could see some flurries as you head in towards your evening commute, but not as much in the Charleston area. You know, they had that winter storm towards the beginning of the new year, and it looks like this time it's going to be more of the central portion of the state. And here's a look at the Columbia metro area. You too, just coming out of the rain and into the snow here in the next little bit, which is really being signified for many of us at the Charlotte DOT camera. A little past the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to hop off here in the next few minutes, but let me go back up to Scotty Powell in the foothills for his closing thoughts. Scotty.
Yeah, James, we're going to continue, and I'm going to share the radar image one more time, and something I want to hit on. We're going to continue to see the snow in the foothills for the next few hours, even in the western Piedmont area, Charlotte area. By 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock this afternoon, snow will be coming to an end. But I do want to turn your attention to these temperatures. There we go. Our temperatures as this system moves out. I think a big story tonight, and even for some part of tomorrow, are going to be the temperatures. You're looking at single-digit temperatures widespread in states of Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. And look at this, James. We're at 11 degrees in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Brr.
We're at 14 degrees in Dallas, Texas. So this is going to be some extremely cold temperatures moving into the area once this snow moves out of the area. So expect to see probably some wind chill advisories issued for some portions of the area, as well as maybe even wind chill warning criteria in the mountains. That could be possible. We're going to see some gusty winds as well. And definitely we're going to have a refreeze tonight for whatever does fall. Even if it's raining there in the Charlotte area, you know, if you've seen rain, you're going to see some refreeze from whatever moisture is left on the roadways. So the story is not over yet. The snow is the first part, but the cold and the refreeze will be the second part of the story, and that'll happen this afternoon, tonight, and into tomorrow morning. So like James said, stay off the roads if you can. If you can stay home today, great. Enjoy the snow, and just know another couple of inches is possible in the foothills and in the northwest Piedmont. And then as you head to Greensboro and Raleigh, expect to see some higher amounts there. So that's my final thoughts here. And we'll continue to update the page throughout the day. So back to you, James.
That's right, Scotty. Be sure to follow the Carolina Weather Group on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. We'll have live cameras and feeds and the latest bulletins throughout the day. Then we're back tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for a recap of the snowstorm, followed by our regular scheduled Wednesday night show. We're going to be talking about wildfires. That's at 8:15 Eastern Time tonight, followed preceded by our snow special. You can also follow us on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio to get the audio form of our show, the podcast for on-the-go listening. But please be sure to like and follow our page to be alerted to all sorts of special live events like you've been experiencing with us here for the last 12 hours or so. We do appreciate your time again with us this morning. Stay safe, stay warm, enjoy this beautiful winter day we are having. We'll leave you this morning with a shot of Marion, North Carolina. Stay tuned for updates throughout the day.